Frank Sepe for NPC News Online here with Mr. Olympia, Shawn Rhoden. So what brings you to the Arnold Classic?
You know, the Arnold Classic has always been that starting point before I jumped into my off-season prep. I like to call it where I gather, I'm not stalking, it's creative research. You get an opportunity to see what the guys brought to this show, and you know, I'm already motivated to get back on stage, but this is where you really get a chance to see who was making improvement in that short period of time and how much better they could get from here until the Olympia.
And you've already started your Olympia prep, correct?
Actually, the car is in neutral. And again, I've always done that every year before I get into the meat, you know, of prep. You know, it's prep starting mid-April. So right now I'm just focused on how much better can Shawn get for 2019.
What's been the big difference since you've won the Mr. Olympia? As far as fans and stuff?
You know, I've had a lot more fan interaction. I guess being a new Mr. Olympia, you know, you get a lot more fans that come up to you and say, "Oh, I'm so happy that you're Mr. Olympia," or you know, "It's a pleasure to meet you." And you know, I've always been one of the more traveled bodybuilder, and I'm going to continue to do that. But the best part now is all the fans just coming out to show support as a new ambassador for the sport.
Were you able to walk through the expo here at the Arnold?
That's the hard part, man. You know, I try to leave a little bit earlier, and it never gets old because I choose to walk without an entourage or a bodyguard or just anyone in general. Just freely just walk through the crowd, and you know, I like to stop and you know take a picture with a fan and hear their story and you know who was at the Olympia to watch the show. I've always enjoyed it, so you know it's a little bit harder, but I'm enjoying it. That's why we do this sport.
If you had the opportunity to win 8 Arnolds or 8 Olympias, which would it be?
Both.
Then why didn't we see you here?
I wanted to take a minute to enjoy being Mr. Olympia, but at the same time, I wanted to come here to get inspired and get motivated. You know, the Arnold Classic was one of the first pro shows I've ever watched, and it never gets old.
The winner, Brandon Curry, phenomenal improvement. I mean, he's really up and coming. What did you think of his physique today?
I think Brandon looked tremendous. He looks great. And I told someone Brandon kind of set the bar for everyone else when he walked out because this is the best Brandon Curry I've ever seen. So watching every guy that came after him, first walked out, you kind of knew that he was going to be the winner because nobody else has his shape or condition in this show. So.
Plus, he was #1, which he told me during the prejudging that he was definitely going to win. It was, you know, he was #1, he was going to be #1, and he did bring it. He looked phenomenal.
I have a little surprise for Brandon tomorrow morning because I happened to secure a video from his son saying Flexitron is my favorite bodybuilder, which was taken by his wife, and it just so happened to be in my possession, and I will be posting that first thing tomorrow morning. In good faith. You know, I'm friends with Brandon, great guy, and he knew about it. So I told him after prejudging, after he win, I will post this video. And
you got to get him a T-shirt for the Olympia team. You know, Team Rhoden.
You know what? This Olympia is going to be great, man. You know, these guys all brought it, and these guys are all great competitors, and I'm very thankful that I had the opportunity to come out here and you know hang out with my friends that were competing and you know cheer them along. I think at the end of the day we all in the same boat, and iron sharpens iron, and I'm enjoying being here watching these guys and supporting.
Do you feel more pressure now that you are Mr. Olympia to win it again?
I think the first one was hard, yeah. Especially you know you had 7 times you know Mr. Olympia Phil Heath. That was there, and I've never been pressured for some strange reason at the Olympia. You know, I've always told myself as long as I've done everything that I could have possibly done for that day, the pressure is off. You know, because you're prepared. You know, we've been judged. Wherever the chips might fall that day, you know, you smile and you wave, you say thank you. Defending the title, I feel no pressure because I feel as if it's a brand new year. 2019 is a new year. I'm the 2018 Mr. Olympia. I'm not ready to hand it over to someone else, but I'm preparing for the guy that plays 12, 13, 14, 11. I've seen what the other guys look like. So right now my preparation is for the unknown, which is be better than I was last year.
What do you think you need to do for this Olympia to improve to win that second Olympia title? Do you need to make major improvements in some area in your mind? Not everybody else's.
I need to beat Shawn Rhoden of 2018. And whatever that is, I need to beat that guy. The blueprint is already there. I know I'm never going to be the biggest guy on the stage, so my goal is not to be the biggest guy, but to fine-tune what I already have.
So it's safe to say you haven't reached your full potential yet. There's still room for improvement, right?
There's still a lot of room for improvement. And I think besides 2017 with a broken jaw and prepping with my mouth wired shut,
Right, I remember.
we're constantly making improvement, and there's still room for improvement. And when it gets to the point where I see that I'm not able, whether it's to add 5 pounds or more details or 2 pounds, whatever it is, I'll walk away. But as of right now, there's still a lot of room for improvement.
What advice would you give up-and-coming NPC competitors? I mean, obviously, they're big fans of yours. What advice would you give them, as far as getting to the pro level?
Be patient. I think a lot of guys get into sport and think that it's a 100-meter sprint, and at the end of the day, it's a marathon. Nothing comes easy and nothing up and overnight. And case in point, I turned pro in 2009. Yeah. I didn't win the Olympia until 2018.
But you won.
Yeah, but I was very patient, and sometimes you have to start over. The blueprint that you're using might not be the blueprint, and you have to try something else. And I think a lot of guys either give up if it doesn't happen right away and say, "Oh, this is not for me." But at the end of the day, we're in a sport that demands you to make improvement, not big improvement. A lot of guys feel as if I have to put on 20 pounds and come back on stage, and you can't put 20 pounds on every time. So you just have to be patient and trust the process.
It must be great. I know you have an NPC show. It must be great to have Mr.Olympia as a promoter of your show and, able to talk to Mr.Olympia and encourage you. And I know you take the time to talk to fans. Tell everybody about your show and when it is and how to sign up.
Well, I started Shawn Rhoden Classic in the Philippines back in 2013. My best friend of 20 years, Oscar Gan, took me to the Philippines, and I noticed there was all these guys that was running around looking great, but weren't the biggest guys, but nobody knew who they were. And I told him if I ever made it as a professional bodybuilder, I would come back and promote a show. So 2013, I had the opportunity of going back and started the show. The first show, we had 30 competitors, and could have been easily discouraged, but we kept going. And last year we had a pro qualifier as well as pro bikini and pro men's physique. Great turnout. One of the biggest showdown in the Philippines. We had JM with NPC News Online came out, and we shoot the show as well. And we had a photo shoot for the bikini girls in exotic island Boracay. So this year, December 7th, show will be back on in Manila. Yeah, looking forward for even a better turnout. And you can find us in Shawn Rhoden Classic. You can find me actually on my Instagram page, Flex Shawn Rhoden. And we're looking forward to seeing you guys.
Yeah, we look forward to having the contest on the site again and those great photo shoots by JM, of course. Let me one more question. How do you handle all the trash talking? There's so much trash talking now between athletes with social media.
I love the trash talking because I don't care. I love the trash talking.
Sometimes people let it get to them,
I told a competitor once on stage at the Olympia that he might have been able to go inside someone's head and loosen a few screws and never put it back and kind of messed them up. And there's nothing anyone could do to me in this sport to get inside my head. I'm just being honest. I've seen comments last year that I was washed up, I was done. And a few of those comments I answered to, I said thank you. I said thank you for waking up this morning and come to my page to see what I'm doing. I appreciate it.
Yeah.
I don't get affected by that. I know how to stay in my own lane when it's time for prep. And there's always going to be trash talk.
That's why people look forward to that press conference. It kind of heats things up.
The first person that I spoke to when I turned pro was Flex Wheeler. Yeah. And I remember he walked over to me and he said to me, as of today, you're going to have to grow a thick skin.
Good advice, yeah.
And that stuck in the back of my mind since 2009. And I've embraced all the trash talking. even at the press conference. I don't care because at the end of the day, I know if I'm 100%, it doesn't matter what crap you talk, you're going to have to strip down. We're going to walk out on stage. Last year was called Ehor.
I wasn't going to bring it up.
I said thank you. And I went out and I said, hey, you know what? I'm ready. We'll see tomorrow night. It's going to be the same thing in 2019. I'm prepared for whatever anybody has to say. Yes, I'm old. I'm too old to make improvement. I'm not big. I'm too slow. I'm too laid back. The only day that matters is the day after Olympia. If you need to land a plane in September, you don't put your landing gear down in February. You don't put your landing gear down in March. September is around the corner, and I will be ready.
Well, there you have it. You want to give anybody a shout out? Sponsors, anything?
To my new sponsors, Olymp, thank you guys so much. Body Engineer, Herb Strong, Chic, Hammer, USA. Love you guys. I wish I was wearing those shoes tonight. To all the fans that came out and showed support, to all these amazing athletes here at the Arnold Classic, we love you guys. Continue to support us. IFBB Pro League. Nothing but the best. Dare to dream bigger.
Well, we appreciate you taking the time. I know you're busy. NPC News Online, thank you so much.
Thank you.
This is Frank Sepe for NPC News Online.